today in this meeting, we have the luck to listen to policymakers and government representatives, and one of the things that we were listening today was that they really need us to contribute with policy briefs and with materials that guide the governmental action in this space. So to me, this should be one of the main goals to achieve over the next year, to really come up with perhaps shorter outcomes, but more targeted.
Yeah, and I think for this big goal, we also need the ongoing support from our Center of Expertise INRIA in Paris. And this is connected with a big thank you to Edouard and his colleagues. And Caitlin, why don't you come up and just present the Center of Expertise in Paris?
Yeah, nothing of the things that we do could be done without your support and your help. So please tell us about it.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you so much to both of the co-chairs, Matthias, who I've had the pleasure of working with for 3 years now, which is really incredible to say. Doesn't feel like 3 years. And Lucia, who I've had the opportunity to get to know better over the past year. So as the Paris Expert Support Center, hosted by INRIA, the French National Institute for Research in Digital Science and Technology, I'm one of the project managers dedicated to GPI, alongside of my hardworking colleague, Edward Havis, who I'm sure many of you, and especially in the Future of Work working group, have had the pleasure of working with quite a lot.
We do, and we appreciate him a lot.
Yes, big thank you to Edward for all of his work. As the Paris Expert Support Center, we manage both the Future of Work working group as well as the Innovation and Commercialization working group that I principally work on. Every working group is very different. However, I think there's something interesting about both the Future of Work working group and the Innovation and Commercialization working group. I think they're both more industry focused than the other two, so we really align there. And we also work on creating hard outputs, not just reports, but actionable items to really affect the workforce and the industry at large. As part of the AI mission team, we support the French National Coordination on AI at INRIA, and as the Expert Support Center, our other sort of axis, we work to support the projects. That means the life cycle of constructing the partnerships, coordinating various workshops, and overall enhancing the deliverables and the impact of the deliverables that you, as the experts in the working groups, are creating. So, yeah.
That's a very to the point presentation. Thank you so much for this explanation.
Thank you both, and we look forward to hearing more about the projects here today.
Thank you for sharing with us. And moving on, we will be talking about one of the main projects that we have been doing actually for the past year as well.
From the very beginning.
From the very beginning, yeah. Indeed. And we have, it's been now called, well, you will see in the screen behind us part of the leads, the range from Mexico to Japan, so we're really international. And we have with us, we will start introducing our speakers and then asking them some questions. We have with us today Senator Lagunes. Alejandra Lagunes is serving as a senator in Mexico. She leads public policy development in areas such as sustainability, human rights, innovation, digital inclusion, and the medicinal use of natural psychedelics. She's an expert in political communication and has played key roles in various political campaigns, while also actively contributing to committees and alliances focused on digital rights, AI, and strengthening the open parliament. Thank you so much for joining us today, Alejandra. We would like to understand better how is Mexico, a member of GPI, advancing, a very active member of GPI actually, advancing AI for the future of work in the country.
Lucia, thank you very much, and good morning from Mexico. It's really a pleasure to be here today. And Matthias, hello. And I want to thank a very special thanks to GPAI for inviting me to talk about what we're doing in Mexico. Thank you, Said, for inviting me as well. And how is Mexico advancing? Well, it's a very interesting question because I think every country is, this year, the world is towards artificial intelligence. And how we are advancing is very interesting because things have been moving on really fast in Mexico in the last month. And what I really think is that AI is not going to take away any job. Are those who know how to use AI that will take them away. So very important is the very important thing here is that people really understand at first what is AI and how is AI going to change their lives and their work. Mexico has a demographic bonus, which is very interesting because the productive age population is now bigger than the non-productive population. And this puts Mexico in a very interesting position, as well as our geopolitical situation. We should be leaders and have been leaders of public policy and in Latin America. So we are now working from the Senate with all the ecosystem. We created an alliance, an artificial intelligence national alliance, and this is a very interesting platform because what the alliance is a multi-stakeholder platform, which mission is to strengthen Mexican artificial intelligence ecosystem. The sectors that are working in this working group are the industry, the economy, the civil society, the government, international organizations, legislators, and regulators. Our objectives are to analyze AI challenges, the benefits and impacts for the responsible creation of public policy, regulation, and governance. And the vision is to harness AI for common good, equity, progress, sustainable development, human rights, environmental protection, democratic values, and social inclusion. We are collaborating with UNAM, which I know Alvaro is here. It's the most recognized university in Mexico, the biggest and most recognized worldwide university in Mexico. And we are collaborating as well with UNESCO and CAF, the development plan, in these working groups. We are, how the alliance is working is that we have lines of action. The first one is the working group in 6 main themes: public policy and rights, education, capability and labor market, cybersecurity and risk management, gender, inclusion and social responsibility, infrastructure and data, innovation and industry. These themes were, we got to these themes in a public survey, and we have been working in this for like 4 months by now. So we have very interesting conclusions on this working group. And what we are going to do with these conclusions of the working group is to propose a strategy for Mexico, public policy, regulation, and a model of governance. The other thing is that we are working in awareness. We are giving webinars and workshops to the population, general population. It's very important because in Mexico now 90% of the population doesn't understand what artificial intelligence, what's in it for them, what they can do in their work, and in education. I mean, what's in it for saving their lives. So this has been also a really revolutionary approach. We have been giving these webinars to hundreds of people now, and this has been a success. The other line of action we are working is to document case studies. How in Mexico we can use artificial intelligence in the government as well as in private sector, and as well to detonate the ecosystem, the new businesses using AI. And we are working as well international collaboration. We want to foster a regional collaboration and international collaboration as well for unified regulation, to have a very responsible regulation. So in these working groups, one of the working groups was education capabilities and labor markets. And the conclusions were really interesting, as we have this demographic bonus, and we have one of the biggest number of engineers every year in Mexico. We have 451,000 students graduating from public education system with a bachelor's higher technical education or postgraduate degree. And 40% of these studies are in STEM careers. So one of the conclusions, the key general conclusions of the working groups have been that we need to regulate in terms of ethics, in human rights, and in innovation. As a country, we need to really focus on how we change this vision of being consumers of technology to becoming developers of technology. So we need digital literacy and critical thinking. We need to change our model of education. We need to legislate in terms of education and focus on workers and unions, as well as in teachers and in changing the education model. We don't have a coordination between education levels, so we need to change that. We need to use AI to preserve indigenous languages and cultures. We need to have an ethical incorporation in AI education. We as well need to focus on development of AI in Mexico. The role of civil society and academia is fundamental. We have to change labor dynamics and values with AI. We need to focus on reskilling and upskilling the capabilities of our workers. We know the importance of binding legislation with follow-up. So the model of governance is really important, that we end with a governance that really changes the game in Mexico. We need to focus on educational policy and digital gaps. We in Mexico have yet we don't have an universal inclusion, access to technology. We need to focus on digital ability. It's crucial, the teacher training in digital matters as well. And we need to ensure equity access in educational policies. And for the end of my words, we need to focus on specific needs. We have to develop capabilities in tailored to regional needs. We have a very big working force working in manufacturing. So we need to focus, for example, in upskilling or reskilling this working force. And, the governance. We need to establish an autonomous entity specializing in AI to follow up one of the most important things that is the working force. We are now working with syndicates, with the unions, with the teachers, with the universities to make this happen even before the public policy is on track and the regulation is on track, because we know that this is inevitable And this is going to affect mainly the working force in our country. So one of the main things that we are doing from the Alliance is really working with the different parts that have really big impact in this part in the education and in the working force. And well, the working groups are still going. The Alliance is really vibrant in Mexico now. We want in Mexico in the next months we are going to have elections. All the government is going to change. We are going to have presidential elections. Almost 20 governors, 19 governors are going to change. So it's a very important timing in Mexico. The Alliance is going to play a very important role because we want to present the candidates a public paper, a policy paper in which the multi-stakeholder view, the multi-stakeholder work can present them which should be the best way from Mexico in a regional approach with an international with the international work that we are doing as well, yeah, which will be the strategy, the best strategy to follow with public policy, the regulation, and a model of governance. So thank you very much for giving me the space to talk about the Alliance. It's really important for us to these spaces. The international collaboration is fundamental. And thank you again to Saif, that's the Mexican really active member of the GPAI. And thank you, Alvaro, because UNAM has been key. This university, amazing university, has a special team working in artificial intelligence in several things. The academy is really one of the most important key pieces in Mexico. And we are going to give really, we want to give Mexico really a change with this tool. Finally, AI is a tool. It's an amazing technology that can change the game for countries like Mexico. And this is the view of the Alliance. And experts, hundreds of experts in AI are working for this. Thank you very much for the space.
Thank you, Senadora. This was very, very interesting to listen to, and I actually would like to know more of how we can participate and collaborate from GPAI, and especially from our working group with this Alliance, and how you can channel what you're developing, that I think it's a very pioneering work through the region. I believe that Mexico right now is leading by example, and it should be shared among the countries internationally. So for that, we should use this platform that GPAI is in the end. Before we move on to the other part of the world, the other side of the world, and seeing our colleague, Dr. Saif Savage, I would like to give you the floor, Saif, to perhaps present also Alvaro, who is here, and the work that you've been doing with your students in Mexico. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Lucia, and thank you so much, Senator Lagunes, also for this great presentation. It has been a collaboration with government actors and the UNAM University and GPAI. Thank you, Matias and Jan and Edward. And I'll let Alvaro share what we have been doing with GPAI around understanding worker needs in Latin America and then designing generative AI tools for them.
Okay. So this is not. This is good.
And thank you again, Senator Lagunes, for also picking up very early in your morning.
Okay, so thank you very much, Saif. I would like to use this opportunity to thank all the GPAI organizers. This has been and is still a magnificent event, one of the largest AI efforts globally to have more knowledge about this amazing technology. I would also like to thank the government of Mexico to be present in this session. I think Mexico is thriving, and not only Mexico, but the entire region of Latin America shares some common values with this part of the world, with India. We both have, as mentioned, a young population, and we also have adequate access and network to internet and to mobile networks. So this makes us early adopters in these technologies. I would like to thank also the National Autonomous University of Mexico and CRIAI, Artificial Intelligence Solutions, which is our company. So today I'm thrilled to talk about the future of work, a future where Mexico is not just adapting to change, but thriving on it, and where artificial intelligence, led by companies such as CRIAI, are the catalyst of inclusion. We are leading, CRIAI and UNAM are leading in Mexico and standing at the intersection of technology and humanity. In collaboration with UNAM students and UNAM student communities, they harness cutting-edge artificial intelligence research to create practical solutions that improve the lives in Latin America and in Mexico. We have a small video prepared. I don't know if we can show it, so you'll have some better understanding on what the student communities at UNAM are doing, and also